Hello friends, welcome to Suresh Aggarwal's Mathematics Shortcuts. Yet another very important video. We all know, rather all the students know, how to add, subtract, multiply and divide rational numbers and fractions, right? But how to convert the given statements into equations and then cracking those equations to get to the final answer is little bit tricky and skill based. So you might have the knowledge, you might have the understanding, but the application part and the skill part comes in when you face the word problems. And that is what is the intention of bringing this video to you. We will be trying and solving some of the simple equations which relate to word problems. So watch the entire video. This is going to be really special and really useful for all the school students right from class 6 onwards, and obviously if you are appearing in any kind of quantitative aptitude exam, you can't escape the word problems, right? Before starting the video, let me tell you about the best offers which are going on right now on the CBSE practice worksheets. We have a huge repository of worksheets for all the class 6 to class 10 students. The entire syllabus has been converted into big worksheets which you can solve concept wise and feel comfortable that you know everything, and whatever you face in the exam is not going to be strange or alien to you. These worksheets are very nominal costing and have unlimited validity, so you can preserve them even after you pass out of a definite class, right? So complete worksheet sets are available now, and you can practice this. And for getting a copy of these worksheets, you can send me a message on WhatsApp 9896369963. This is my WhatsApp number. It is only available on WhatsApp, so you can send me a message on WhatsApp. If you are studying in class 6 to class 10, then this is something very useful for you. Please note down 9896369963 is the WhatsApp number on which you got to send me a message if you are willing to invest a little bit on your education. Let's see the questions in hand now. Here we have a direct question where you don't have to do anything. I think if you know the basics, you can solve this just by watching the question. So we have a variable here. Now whenever you have a variable in the question, that's the variable we need to find. Rest everything are constants. So what do you do when you solve equations? You isolate. Now that's very important word. Isolate the variable. So whichever variable you find in the equation, you have to isolate. That means there should not be anything else on that side where the variable exists. So 2/5 plus x gives you 9/5. If I have to isolate x, I have to shift this 2/5 to the other side. Whenever you shift a term to the other side, you all know the sign of the term changes. So x remains here, and plus 2/5, this is plus 2/5, right? It is an independent term, so when it moves to the other side, 9/5 is already there on the right hand side. The plus 2/5 becomes minus 2/5, and so because they are like fractions, the denominator doesn't change, and the numerator 9 minus 2 becomes 7, and that is the value of x which we were trying to find. Very easy, right? Because it is the first question for the video, it has to be easy. Let's have another one. Now there is a statement, and so you need to read the statement, underline the keywords, convert it in the form of an equation and solve the equation to get the answer. Now there are 4 different skills involved here. So your English has to be equally good as compared to your mathematics. Okay, right? If you add 2 to a number, so there is a number, right, which we are talking about, and what is the number, that is the question. So you have to assume that the number is, let the number be x. Okay, I don't know what kind of number is that, so that will come by itself when you formulate the correct equation. So if you add 2 to the number, so if we are adding 2 to the number x, and we are doing something else also, divide the result, that means we are dividing this by something, by 5. So we are dividing the result by 5. You get means equal to, what do we get? We get 70. Now that's how you convert a simple statement into the form of an equation by assuming a variable. So what is the number? So the number is x, and if you are able to solve this question and get the value of x now, you will have the question solved. So how do you isolate the variable? So I told you isolating the variable is really important. So how do you isolate x here? You can only isolate x if you push everything else to the right hand side. And the most common mistake which the students are doing when isolating the variable is they are shifting plus 2 to the other side. It is not plus 2. Plus 2 is not an independent term. It is actually divided by 5. And so the common denominator 5 has to be taken to the other side first. You can't take plus 2 first. There are so many students who do this common mistake. Now this is divided by 5, right? On the left hand side it is divided by 5. So when I take divided by 5 to the other side, it becomes multiplied by 5. It is more like cross multiplication. So you have 1 here, you cross multiply this. So 70 times 5. Here we have written it, and multiplying by 1 doesn't matter, right? X plus 2 times 1. Anything times 1 is the same thing. So x plus 2. So this becomes x plus 2 equals 350, and now I have to still isolate x. So I have to push the plus 2, which is an independent term now, to the other side, which I can do safely, and it becomes minus 2. That gives me the value of x as 348, and therefore the number is, that's what we were required to find, right? So the number was x, it is 348, which gives you the answer for this particular question. I tell you, this is one of the easier ones, and I told you about the class 6 to class 10 worksheets. So one full worksheet is based on the statement problems, how to convert them in equation, and then solve the equations to get to the correct answers. Let's see some more statement problems. Wow, here we have a question in which there is the use of perimeter, area. Whenever you have word problems related to perimeter and area, the question looks little bit more difficult. Okay, so let's see. So there is a swimming pool. Now normally a swimming pool is a rectangular shape, right? So I don't know its length, I don't know its breadth. Okay, here we have written that I think this is breadth, so you need to make a correction there. This is breadth. The breadth is 2 meters less than half its length. So the breadth has been compared to the length. So this length is the independent variable, and breadth depends on the length. And so what will I do? I will assume the length to be x. So if I write the length to be x meters, I have to write breadth in terms of x now. So what does he say? Its breadth is 2 meters less than half its length. Half its length. So first of all I have to take half of the length, which is x upon 2, and then reduce that by 2 to get the breadth. Now this is the important thing. So if you can assume length and breadth in terms of x, the question works. If you can't do this, then obviously it's going to be a struggle. Now, how to formulate the equation? The perimeter given in the question is 56. Now that is going to help me in framing the equation. Do you know what is perimeter? Perimeter is twice of length plus breadth, right? So I am going to use this to frame the equation now. Twice the length is x upon 2 minus 2 plus the breadth is you can take the length and breadth or breadth and length, because they are added, it doesn't make a difference, so I am going to add them. So I have added them, right? This gives me the perimeter, and the perimeter given is 56 meters. So I have to equate that to 56 now. So twice the length plus breadth is 56. Now if you are smart, you will take this 2 to the other side directly because 2 is a common factor. So I can cancel this 2 and take it to the denominator here, and so this becomes 2 goes into 56 exactly 28 times, right? So I have some variables here, x upon 2 plus x. These are variables. The minus 2 can be pushed to the right hand side, becomes plus 2. If I add x upon 2 and x upon 1, this is 2, and then x plus 2x, and this is 30. So what happens here is this becomes 3x, and the 2 can be cross multiplied, which gives me 60, and therefore the value of x is 60 divided by 3, which is 20. Now if you get the value of x correctly, you know what is the length and what is the breadth. X is 20, right? So the length is 20. So I know the value of length, it is 20 meters. And what happens to the breadth now? The breadth is x upon 2 minus 20. So if you put x equal to 20, this is 20 upon 2 minus 2, which is 10 minus 2, and that is 8 meters is the width of the swimming pool. Friends, question is little tricky because of so many factors. One, you need to know what is the perimeter of a rectangle. You need to know how to write the breadth in terms of the length. You need to know how to formulate this equation using the perimeter, and then you need to know which terms you have to shift to the other side to isolate the variable x. So many skills involved, and that is why word problems are difficult, and that is why you need to solve a lot of problems given in the worksheet. These are all problems I have taken from the worksheet which we have formulated. Okay, so let's have another one. The sum of, so we are talking about adding something, 3 things. Okay, consecutive multiples of 9. Wow. So if I tell you one of the multiples of 9 as say 36, how will you find the next multiple, the consecutive multiple? You're going to add 9 to 36, right? And tell me 45. If I ask you one more, you will add 9 further and tell me 54, right? So consecutive multiples of a number can be assumed very easily. I'll show you how. If you assume, let first number, it is a multiple of 9, right, to be x, then the next number, which is consecutive multiple, will be x plus 9 because they are multiples of 9, and that too coming in order. And the third number will be, again add 9 to this will become x plus 18. So these are 3 consecutive multiples of 9. And now what is the question? Formulation of equation is going to be really easy. He says sum, so we have to add all of them, x plus 9 plus x plus 18. So we have to add all of them, and what is the answer we will get? We will get 783. That's what he says, and here we have the equation. So x plus x is 3x, 9 plus 18 is 27, gives me 783. Isolate the variable by taking 27 to the other side, 783 minus 27. I'll write it like this so that I can subtract it here. 13 minus 7 is 6, 7 minus 2 is 5, and so 756. And now the value of x will be 756 divided by this number 3. That gives me 3 2s are 6, so 15 means 5, and 252 happens to be the value of x. So he wanted us to find the multiples, right? So the numbers are, we assumed x, so x is 252. Then the next number is x plus 9, so 252 plus 9 is 261. And then add 9 further, you get 270. So the numbers are these 3 numbers, and you can check these 3 numbers are going to add up to 783, thereby confirming that we have got the correct answer. Let's have the last 2 questions for this video. a rational number, and we are asked to find the number, right, is such that when you multiply it by 2/3 and subtract 1/6 from the product, you get 0. What is the number? So again, the number is to be assumed as x. Let number is equal to x. So what are we doing with x? Let's formulate the equation. When you multiply it by 2/3, so 2/3 of x, and subtract 1/6, so we are subtracting 1/6 from the product, we get 0. There we have the equation. Now pretty easy. After this, isolate the variable. 2/3 of x contains the variable, minus 1/6 is an independent term, shift it to the other side. 0 doesn't mean anything. Minus 1/6 becomes plus 1/6. And now you should know that cross multiplication works for us here. So if you cross multiply this, you get 12x equals 3, and that gives us the value of x as 3 upon 12, and you can cancel the common factor, reduce it to lowest form. That gives you 1 by 4, and therefore your answer will be, the number is 1 by 4. One of the easier questions, right? Right. Let's have the final one. What should be subtracted from twice of this? So twice of minus 4 by 7. And he is asking us what should be subtracted. So let x be subtracted, okay, from twice of this number to get 3 by 4. Now that is the question. And again, isolation of the variable. Now isolation of the variable is easy here. Why? Because twice of this is minus 8 by 7, and I can actually shift this minus x to the other side, making it plus x, and 3/4 can be shifted here, which gets converted to minus 3/4. See, I have isolated the variable now. The variable can be on the left hand side or on the right hand side, it doesn't matter. It's an equation, right? We are finding x equal to something. And how do you add or subtract this? Because 7 and 4, they are co-prime numbers. So the value of x will be, using butterfly method, again, minus 8 times 4 is minus 32, minus 3 times 7 is minus 21, and divided by 7 times 4, which is 28, and so your answer for the question is minus 53 upon 28, which is the correct answer for this particular question. What should be subtracted from twice of this to get this? Minus 53 by 28 has to be subtracted from twice of this to get 3 by 4. Right? Word problems. Smartness. That's what we try to develop in you, friends, and the class 6 to class 10 worksheets is going to prove very, very beneficial in developing smartness in you, because you don't find so many questions anywhere on the internet. So friends, if you like this video, do share it with all your friends, do subscribe the channel, and click the bell shaped icon. You know, I keep on telling to my friends, clicking the bell shaped icon is really important, otherwise you will miss out on the notifications. So to get all the notifications, do click the bell shaped icon. If you have subscribed the channel, check whether you have clicked it or not. And thanks for watching this video. Do look for more such amazing videos to come in future also. All the best for your preparation.